Back at the 30. 49ers now protecting the lead.
Hey guys, yeah, this is live, and I wanted to come on here while I have the 49ers and the Cardinals on right now. And I wanted to talk about something that I'm sure others have talked about before. And Nick, I'm listening to some of the commentators, or one of the commentators with this game, and there's a lot of commentators even previously with other games, even the playoffs and the playoffs themselves and the Super Bowl and all that, that are not too thrilled with these new, how do you put it, these new rules and regulations that are being put down, or being placed on the NFL. And, obviously you could tell that, by watching some of the games, even the players themselves are not too thrilled with it. I mean, I think there have been several interviews over the past several years and seasons, if not recently this season, where basically, just checking something here real quickly, where basically, um, they just feel like it's the players. Like I said, you could tell the players in game, during the game, the facial expressions, the coaches even, as well as even doing interviews. Like I said, in past years, past seasons, even this recent season, or this current season, I should say, are not too thrilled with these new rules and regulations. It basically feels like for them, it's holding them back, and they're not too thrilled about that because of the fact that this is a game to them that when they play it when they're younger, they are taught right off the bat it's a game of toughness. It's a game to have fun with, but it's also a game of toughness. Like, can you handle being in this kind of environment? Can you handle being knocked down onto the ground, tackled down, and all that? Can you handle that? Can you, live with that responsibility that comes with playing in a sport like this? So the thing is, people have to wonder, are these new rules helping or restricting? And there are people that feel these new rules, and if you ask the majority of fans, they'll come out and say, look, these new rules, they're not helping. I mean, yes, they understand why some of them are in play, why some of them have to be. It's for the safety and the health and the well-being of the players on the field, because they play they play at a very fast breakneck kind of speed sometimes when it comes to playing football. And basically, it's understandable why these rules are being placed because of that. But again, you know, basically, you could tell that not a lot of people, fans wise, along with the players, the coaches, and even some of the commentators and analysis, are not thrilled about these new rules and regulations. They basically feel like, hey, you are not helping the game at times, you're harboring it, you're hurting it. Again, they understand, okay, we understand why this protocol is in place, why this rule is in place, and all that. But to them, it's like there are certain rules and everything that you've implemented that just don't make sense. Like, it shouldn't matter if somebody gets, tackled while trying to catch a ball or something like that, and all of a sudden you call pass interference for something that barely is pass interference or something like that. And honestly, you know, that's what fans kind of don't like about these new rules and regulations and restrictions, maybe, or regulations, I should say. That's what they don't like about it, and I don't blame them. That's what fans and players, coaches, analysis, commentators don't like about it, because they feel that yes, there are some of these rules and protocols that are helping. In other words, like I said, to keep players safe and healthy and able to play for a long time. But there's also some rules and regulations, some new rules and regulations that just don't make any freaking sense. It doesn't make any freaking sense for, um, like I said, it doesn't make any freaking sense. You know, well, and I'm kind of distracted with the game on here, but anyway, like I said, to them, it just doesn't make any sense why certain rules, again, like I said, they understand why other rules are in place, protocols are in place for the safety and the health of the players so they can keep playing for a long time. But but, again, there are rules and regulations that just don't make sense. Like I said, when somebody does what's barely looked at as a pass interference call, and it shouldn't be, it gets called anyway. And it's like, what is going on? And you can understand the frustration, like I said, if you watch in game by the players, the coaches, and even if you hear once in a while the commentators and analysis feel like, yeah, that didn't make sense. What's going on? And honestly, it doesn't make sense. And you got to realize, and you got to also see it from a fan's perspective. They're like, look, when I hear fans themselves, like I said, you got to imagine how fans feel about it because fans, men, women, kids, if you will, people of all ages, they basically feel that, look, football's not a pretty game. You're going to get roughed up out there. And they just feel that, and again, like the players and the analysis and the analysts, I should say, and the commentators and even the coaches, yes, they understand why certain protocols and new protocols and rules are in place for the safety and the health. But it's like all the other things are like, seriously? You're going to add that in now? You're going to add this in now? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And I honestly believe that if fans truly had a say in how the NFL, leagues like the NFL work, if they truly had a say, they'd be like, okay, we're cool with all these rules and regulations, but leave these other ones that you're trying to implement and push onto this game out of the equation because this is not a game of finesse. Well, it is a game of finesse, but it's not like a game of fancy, unique finesse. It's basically a game of toughness, and it's a rough and ugly game at times. And I think that's what fans want the NFL, mostly the commissioner, Roger Goodell, and many others to wake up and realize, hey, these rules and regulations and protocols to keep players safe and healthy, in the end, we get that. We understand that. We want to keep that. But what they want from Goodell and those in charge is to basically how do I put the word? What's the word I'm looking for? They want Roger Goodell and those in charge to acknowledge that, yeah, we understand some of these rules and regulations may not be popular. We will try to fix them to try to get football back to its roots, to get the NFL back to its roots. Along with basically, keeping those rules and regulations and protocols that help keep the players safe and healthy, but also put less restriction and enforcement on some of these rules that just don't make sense. I mean, basically, for example, if somebody wants to protect their teammates so they can at least get a first down or a touchdown, then that shouldn't be called upon because they shouldn't be called a foul. They're just trying to help their teammate. It's called teamwork. And I think that's one of the rules or one of the new rules that gets implemented that people are frustrated with. Players are frustrated with. Coaches are frustrated with. Everybody is frustrated. So it comes down again to the question of whether or not these new rules and regulations, besides the ones that are obvious for the safety of the players, like I said, for the safety of the players and their health. Besides that, there's a lot of, I just got distracted there again. Sorry. But anyway, there are a lot of people, they just want less restrictions. Like, okay, they're cool with keeping the players safe and healthy, but when it comes to, like I said, a player trying to help their teammate out and score or get a first down or whatever, that shouldn't be a big deal. They're working as a team. It's teamwork. You shouldn't restrict that from happening. And that, again, one of the rules fans would hope maybe down the line, gets put on the shelf so the game can kind of, in a sense, get back to its roots to where, as I was trying to say, you still have these safety, you still have these rules and regulations and protocols to, keep the players safe and all that. But at the same time, you kind of balance it out to where you keep that around and maybe a few rules here and there that kind of make sure players are safe and healthy even while playing the game. But try to also shelve some rules that, just don't make any sense. Like I said, the whole, let me get called pass interference because I'm trying to help my teammate deal. So to me, I think obviously. So I mean, again, it's obvious that some fans just fans, players, coaches, commentators, and analysis, they all agree that there's a reason for all this happening, all these changes happening, but they also feel like, yes, there's a reason, there's a good reason and all that, but in the end, they also feel like there are some changes that have been made that could easily be done away with because they don't make any sense. So, to me, the biggest question, and I think any other fan out there, the biggest question, again, as the title puts it, and I got to put a question mark at the end of the title, the new rules and regulations, are they helping or hurting the NFL? And again, it all depends on how you feel about it. You could be, split down the middle about it. You could be for it and be against it. You could kind of be like, you can, like I said, you can understand why, but you could also not understand, but you could also not like what you're getting. Like, you can understand why this has been put in place, why that's been put in place, but you just don't get it. But you just don't get why they enforce it so much. It's almost like, and I was kind of thinking about this earlier watching the game, it's almost like basically they want to make it a game of tap the shoulder and that's it, plays over. It's like if somebody's running, going like this, and the guy's coming after him, and even after that person catches the ball, all they have to do is run after them, tap, that's it, plays dead, right? Plays over, no tackling. That's what a lot of fans fear is the direction we're going into, where it's like, here's the guy, he got the ball, he's running, and then the person behind him just goes, tap, and it's over. And it's like, fans don't want that to be the direction. Fans don't want that to be the direction. Fans don't want that to be the direction that they fear it could go in. Players don't want that to be the direction that they fear it's going. And the coaches, the analysis, or the analysts, and the commentators, they don't want any of that to be, they don't want something like that to be the obvious future of the game. They want the game to kind of be, basically, they want the game to be safe for everybody, but they also want the game to go back to its roots in some way. And by doing so, you basically shelve certain rules that kind of make the game less fun and bring it back to that fun level that people like. So the question again, are the new rules and regulations hurting the NFL? That's a big question I would like to hear from each and every one of you. Jeff Siegel, Delexman, anybody that's a fan of the NFL, I would love to hear your response to this. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. Thank you all for watching live, those that did. I know I was a little distracted because I got the Niners and the Cardinals on right now. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Respond if you like. And I will talk to y'all later. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think they're helping or hurting? And do you think certain rules should be shelved? No, to try to bring a little bit of funness back to the game or enjoyment back to the game for everybody. Let me know down below. Comment if you like. And I will talk to y'all later.
A member of the officiating crew who is down on the field, or at least being tended to.